Hi everyone, welcome back to Creatively Crafted Life. My name is Melanie. I am part of a new collaboration for 2025. It's called Craft with 5. It's hosted by Bourbon Creek Crafts, and it's basically where we take 5 items from our stash and make them or use them to make a project. And this month for January, our 5 items kind of have or lean themselves a little bit to a Valentine's theme, so that's the direction I'm going. And the first item on our list is to use something with a heart. And I pulled out a few things from my stash that I think might meet this criteria. I have these wood veneer, I have these doilies, I have some glitter foam, not foam, I guess fabric hearts, and I also have some heart wax seals. So that's number 1. Number 2 is something red. So we've got the red in the hearts. I also have pulled out some cardstock, and there's some red in this. So I think I'm going to be covered, as well as my card base will probably be red. And then the third item is something pink. And there's pink in these hearts. There's also pink in the pattern paper. So I think I'll be okay with that. The fourth item is an embossing folder, and I went to my heart section and I pulled out this Cuttlebug heart blocks. This is an oldie but a goodie, as well as this Sizzix ornate heart. I don't know if you can see that. So maybe we'll play around with both of those. And the final ingredient in this month's challenge are brads, and I pulled out these clear rhinestone brads. So if I'm going to make one card, I might as well make multiples. And here is what I came up with. Okay, so for the first card, so we have a red card base. I'm going to take a piece of cardstock. This is 4 by 5 1/4. I'm not going to adhere that yet because I want to do a couple things to it first. I did use that ornate folder to emboss this heart, and I cut it out. So I just took a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 sheet of cardstock, embossed it, and trimmed it out. So I'm really liking that. And I also have this heart that I thought we will layer on top. Now, what I am going to do first is I am going to glue down the heart. You can do one of 2 ways, either the debossed side or the embossed side. And I am going to do the debossed side sticking up. And I'm just going to kind of glue that right in the middle, just like so. This heart comes with a little foam sticker on the back side. I'm going to peel that off, and just for extra measure, I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive, and I'm going to center that. Well, not center it. I'm going to layer it on top of the embossing. And then I pulled out 3 rhinestones, 2 large and 1 medium. Rhinestone sequins, I guess. And I'm going to just kind of, I guess, wing it. Poke a hole in just slightly off the bottom and push the prongs through, and we're going to do a second one just above it for the smaller one, and we're going to add 1/3 one up here at the top. Don't use brads very often anymore, so I was really happy to have this one as part of the challenge because I do enjoy them. Okay, so that is basically the card panel. I will probably put some sort of sentiment or something here, but I don't know what I want to put yet. And for the sake of this video, I'm just going to leave it off for now. I also don't think it's necessary to put a sentiment on, so I think, you know, it's not a bad thing that I don't have it. Okay, I've added some foam tape to the back. Let's add that onto the card, just leaving a small border. And we're going to call this card done. Just to show you a couple other variations of this card. This one I did with the deboss side down, and I actually put the rhinestones on the heart panel itself, just for something different. And then this one is very similar to the one I just created, only it has a different backdrop. So that is card 1. Let's move on to card 2. So for this card base, we're going to take a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 panel of cardstock. We're just going to adhere that to the card front. So, okay. Then we're going to take a embossed panel with the hearts. We're going to take the doily and we're going to add some adhesive just on the heart shape and wherever these flowers are. And we're going to adhere that off, slightly off the card base. Just like so. I'm going to trim this off. And I'm just going to run a small bead of glue just along this edge. Just a very light amount of adhesive just to hold all those little bits down. Then we're going to take a die cut piece of scrap cardstock. I just used these dies. I have no idea where they're from. Do I know? MFT. They were from My Favorite Things. And I just picked this kind of pinky coral because of the pattern paper. We are going to adhere that in the middle of the heart. It's not an exact match to the doily heart shape, but that's okay. Then we're going to take 3 more brads, because of course that's part of the challenge. And we're just going to do the exact same kind of placement as in the other card, where we're just going to adhere the brads, 1 large and 1 medium, and then 1 large up here. Okay. And we're going to add some foam tape to this, just like we did with the other one. Just added foam tape to the back. We're going to center that on the front card panel. Let me just make sure it's opening the right way. Just like so. And then we're going to take one of those wood veneers. Now I chose this one with the double hearts. And we're just going to add some glue. And that is going to go in the center of the coral shaped heart. Like so. I have a couple other variations of this one. So for this one, I made a couple modifications. I trimmed this panel down a little bit smaller, and then I have the pink heart behind here. Otherwise, it's exactly the same as this one. And then I did one other iteration where I added one of those wax seals on top of the heart. I think that looks super cute too. This was just a way for me to get more pink into this card, because the backdrop I used this kind of wood grain heart paper to play off the wood grain in there. So that is it for this month's challenge. I hope you guys are inspired. I would encourage you to pull out these 5 items from your stash and play along. If you're part of my Facebook group, be sure to share the projects you make over there. Be sure to check out the collaborators by clicking on the playlist. And until next time, happy crafting.